Hey book lovers, Victoria here and you're watching My Books and Me and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year everyone. Today I'm bringing you my December book haul. I kind of wanted to get it out by the end of the year but I didn't have time to film it after Christmas. Very hectic time, but let's just get right into it. I actually got quite a few books in December. More than I thought I would, but I was really lucky and fortunate in that I got a book for Christmas and some publishers sent me some books. So let's go. Firstly is the book I actually bought back in November, but it was the only book I got in November, therefore I didn't do a November book haul, and that is Jason Donovan's autobiography, Between the Lines, My Story Uncut. I actually saw this in Vinnie's. Fun fact, actually, I saw 2 copies of this in a local Vinnie's and that surprised me enough in itself that there was even one. But Jason Donovan is an Australian actor and singer. One of his most famous roles was in the Australian soap Neighbours, which is mainly why I picked this up. There's several chapters relating to his time on Neighbours that I really want to read, plus just his life in general. I'm really interested in reading about what he has to say about his life. I'm not overly big on autobiographies, but if they are people that I'm really interested in, I will pick them up, hence why I got this one. Then at the beginning of December, I went into my local bookshop during our Christmas street market thingy and I picked up a couple of books. The first one is Shabbat by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the first book in I think it's the Shiva trilogy. I've been eyeing this book off for ages and I've sort of never really had the greatest urge to pick it up, but I read the blurb again when I was looking at it and I was like, I'm just going to get it. So it's about Grace, who has spent years watching the wolves in the woods behind her house. One yellow-eyed wolf, her wolf, watches back. He feels deeply familiar to her, but she doesn't know why. Sam has lived 2 lives as a wolf. He keeps the silent company of the girl he loves, and then for a short time each year he is human, never daring to talk to Grace until now. For Grace and Sam, their love has always been kept at a distance, but once it's spoken it cannot be denied. Sam must fight to stay human and Grace must fight to keep him, even if it means taking on the scars of the past, the fragility of the present and the impossibility of the future. It's just finally intrigued me enough to pick it up, so hopefully I will get around to reading it at some point this year. That is the plan. I also picked up another charmed novelization book, and that is Whispers of the Past by Rosalind Noonan. I've got about 13 of these books now, and I always get surprised when I see these in like my small town local bookshop because I live in a very small town and I don't see a lot of people like donating these secondhand books, which is where a lot of the books come from. But I'm really excited. I really now need to get in and read the series, to be honest, but another book added to the collection. And then I also picked up Ben Hall by Frank Clunes. This is actually, it's fiction, but it's based very heavily on real history. Ben Hall was a bushranger that was very prominent in and around Forbes and Parks in New South Wales and sort of around that area. He was very much described as a Robin Hood sort of bushranger. I don't think he actually killed anyone, but he's become one of my favourite bushrangers, and so I picked this up. It's fictional, but I'm not quite sure, but it should be a very interesting read nonetheless. Then I picked up Darker by E.L. James. This is 50 Shades Darker as told by Christian. So this is the 5th book in the 50 Shades series and the 2nd book in the As Told by Christian series part of it. I was very excited for this book. I have started reading it. I'm only 88 pages in. It's taken me a bit to actually get into the book, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. I think it's just because it's been so, like, I was so consumed by the books at the start of last year, around like February, March, that now this is here, I'm kind of like, okay. But I'm enjoying it and I definitely will get it read and finished soon. Then I was sent from Harper Collins Australia, Mississippi Roll Wildcards, which is edited by George R.R. Martin. This is like the 20-something wildcard book. So I'd never heard of the Wildcard series before, but apparently this is like the 20-something version of it. And this sounds really, really interesting. So George R. R. Martin has collaborated for many years with an ever-shifting ensemble of science fiction and fantasy icons to create the amazing Wildcards universe, and each volume offers a wild ride to longtime fans and new readers alike. So I'm really happy that I don't actually have to go back and read from the very beginning. So in the aftermath of World War II, the Earth's population was devastated by a terrifying alien virus. Those who survived those who survived were changed forever. Some known as Jokers were cursed with bizarre mental and physical deformities. Others granted superhuman abilities are known as Aces. In this volatile and divided world, intrigue and violence are never far away, and a trip up the Mississippi River aboard the steamer Natchez, I don't know if that's how you say it, is no exception. Boats filled with Joker refugees spark conflict between superpowered aces. Zombies and vast alligators lurk beneath the water. In the steam of the engine room, and a spirit stands ready to defend its riverboat home. It's got a whole bunch of authors like Stephen Lee, John Josh Miller, Kevin Andrew Murphy, Carrie Vaughan, David D. Levine, and Cherry Priest, possibly even George R. R. Martin. But it sounds really interesting, and I've heard, when I got this and I looked it up, there was like a lot of great stuff about the whole Wildcards universe to begin with. So I'm actually quite excited to read this at some point. I don't know when, because it's not necessarily a book that I would pick up myself, but now that I've got it, I'm quite intrigued to read it. Then Pam Macmillan sent me The Harper Effect by Taryn Bashford. This is Taryn's debut novel. She's an Australian author, which is really exciting. This book came out on the 27th of December, I think it was. Harper Hunter doesn't know how it came to this. Her tennis dreams are collapsing. Her coach says she doesn't have what it takes to make it in the world of professional tennis. Her new doubles partner is moody, mysterious, and angry at the world. What is he hiding? She's in love with Jacob, but he's her sister's boyfriend. Or he was. Harper could never betray Aria with Jacob, could she? As Harper's heart and dreams pull her in different directions, she has to figure out exactly what she wants and just how hard she's willing to fight to get it. It's about tennis. I'm not I mean, I'm interested by this book. The tennis is definitely intriguing, but I'm not a big fan of tennis, but we will see. I have heard a lot of very mixed things about this book, especially in the Australian YA community. So whether I get around to reading this book is another thing. I don't really want to discuss that on this channel, but a lot has gone down recently surrounding this book, and it has me questioning whether I want to read it. And then Pam Macmillan also sent me a copy of Between the Blade and the Heart by Amanda Hocking. If you guys saw my most anticipated releases video, part 1, you'll know that this was one of the books on it. This is the Australian cover, which looks gorgeous. This is the first book in the Valkyrie. I think it's a trilogy. I'm not quite sure. But I'm really excited for this one. I love Amanda Hocking. I can't 100% remember what this book's about, but I'm going in blind because I feel like if I go in blind with Amanda's books, I enjoy them so much. But this is an urban fantasy. It's fantasy, and it's going to have romance in it, and it's going to be awesome, and it's the first in a series, which is amazing. Then finally for Christmas, I got the illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is such a stunning edition. Prisoner of Azkaban is my third favorite book in this series, closely following Deathly Hallows and Order of the Phoenix. So I'm really excited for this. This is also really heavy, by the way. I'm so worried that when we get to Goblet of Fire and then Order of the Phoenix, we're gonna break our backs with these books, but this is so pretty. I'm really excited to read this. So they are all the books that I got in December. This year I'm definitely cutting down on the books that I buy because my TBR is out of control, and I'm kind of at the point where there's definitely some books that I do still really want to buy, but at the same time I'm like, I've got plenty of books that I already own that I know I really want to read, and I can never sort of find a book that I need to get this now. So there's probably going to be either so this year there's probably going to be book hauls with not many books in it, or maybe I'll even just combine months. Instead of doing a book haul every single month, I'll like do every other month kind of thing. I don't really know. We will see. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below some of the books you guys got in December, and if you got any books for Christmas, or just let me know if you've done a book haul. I really need to get back into watching booktube videos this year. I kind of slacked off during 2017, but this year I'm coming back in. So if you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys very soon with another one. Bye!